we're down in West Marina Gardens with the statue of King Harold and his wife, Edith Swanneck of Edith the Fair. I'm joined by Ian Jarman, who's masterminding a campaign to try and get some more recognition for the statue and get it a little bit of protection from the sea air, and also by Karl Beaney, who's the newly elected councillor for West St Leonards. Ian, the statue, I've been surprised since the last story we did. It's been amazing the number of people born and brought up in Hastings who didn't actually know what the statue was.
Yeah. It is surprising, and that is really because there's no signage here at all. The original inscription, which we can just see on the base there, that's been worn away, so there's no identifying mark at all. And because of that, it's up to people's guesswork really as to what it is. The fact that the story is not necessarily known, it can't be identified, I think does impact on people's ability to lock into the statue and think about it and take on board what it's trying to say.
Now, I say you're spearheading the campaign. The campaign you're running is not about getting public money into this. You're hoping that we can engage the wider public to get behind this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously public money would be lovely, but one has to be a realist, and it's not necessarily always available. And I do think that you know, we all cherish our heritage, and I don't think it would be impossible to raise money to be able to do something about it. What I'm looking at is trying to put some form of canopy or roof or structure which will shield it essentially from the sea air, which is coming from just over there, and the rain. And also to do something about the signage if at all possible. So yes, I'm looking to raise money by holding events and by talking and making more public the story of Edith and Harold.
Again, just making people realise what this is. Your campaign is not about moving the statue. It's been here 65 years. You think it should stay here. Yeah. So you want it to stay here, but a bit more protection.
It is true, it has been in various locations since 1875 when it was made, but it has been here, as you say, for 65 years. It's a local landmark, albeit people can't recognise what it is, and many people zoom straight past on the road here, but yes, it is now fully a part of West St Leonards, and I think it should remain here, despite the fact that it is near the sea. If we can do something about protecting it, I think that should be sufficient to see it forward. I'd like to see it here and still in its recognisable form in 2066, which will be the 1000th anniversary.
Karl, new councillor, you're Hastings lad. What's your interest? What's got you engaged in this?
Well, it's a local landmark, and the trouble is, not many people actually know the story behind it. So what we need is, you know, some kind of plaque and signage, yep, so that people are aware of the importance of this. And also, I fully support Ian's campaign to sort of protect. It's really important that we protect our local heritage.
And such a huge part of the local story, the local history. It's what everybody knows Hastings for.
Of course, yes. Hastings is famous for the Battle of Hastings, 1066, and we really need to protect this asset to make sure that it's here for future generations to enjoy and to know the story of it.
And as the local council, I mean, there's lots of conversations going on about pulling people down to this end of the seafront. There's lots happening in the old town. There's lots of activity around the pier at the moment, but not a lot really happening at this end of the town.
Well, that's right. I've been speaking to residents over the past 5 to 6 months on the doorsteps in the lead up to the election. And many residents feel that this part of town has been neglected. We need more focus on this part of town. We recently just heard from Peter Chowney, the council leader. On election day, actually, he announced that they received a EU grant to look at research and development of a transport system, like a trackless tram, from the old town to here, West Marina Gardens. So really, what we need to do is make sure that this part of town is recognised, and we've got the bathing pool site, which again, it's been empty, it's been derelict for many years, but we really need to make sure that this part of town, there's a reason for people to come down here. And like you mentioned, we've got the old town, Hastings Pier and St Leonards, and now we need people to come along to West St Leonards. We've got fantastic gardens here. And
Beautiful open space.
beautiful open space. You know, we've got the putting greens here, the bowling, and the wonderful beaches.
Which have just won the awards, of course.
Yes,
And of course, this could be the centre point.
of course.
Ian, in terms of structure, I mean, you've talked about a structure to protect it from the weather. What sort of thing are you thinking about?
I've not set my mind on anything. I think it should be open for suggestions, to be perfectly honest. But I'd like to see not a dowdy structure, something that's in keeping and fitting in with the statue. Not too large, but something that does protect it, particularly from the southwest there. Some sort of canopy, perhaps being supported at this end. Something that's open so that people can come up and approach the statue. It's on a human scale, and I think that helps draw people in. So whilst I'd like to see it protected, I don't want to see it removed from people's appreciation and the feeling that it's their statue.
And just remind me, the petition that you've started, tell me what that's about and why people should sign that.
The petition is really about demonstrating that there's a groundswell of opinion that something needs to be done about this particular statue. In the past, over many years, there have been letters of protest, the letters complaining about the state of the statue. This is over many years, and because they've been one-offs and random, they've been sort of filed away and able to be ignored. So I wanted the petition to act as a focus for the campaign, then to gather momentum using that support to then speak with the council and get an understanding, a framework of understanding that there is some priority that could be accorded to this, even if it's only in terms of just opening up the doors of decision making to and a willingness to get things done. So that's what the petition is about. My aim was to get 1,066. I don't know where I plucked that figure from, but and we've now got 610 altogether, so we're well over halfway there. Now we can hopefully get working with the council, get some action to be done in terms of identification of what the statue is by signage, then working further towards getting it first of all cleaned and then a canopy of some form put around it or over it.
We'll stick the link to the petition under this video when it goes out. And Karl, turning to you finally, again, we know councils throughout the country are strapped for cash, but presumably what Hastings Borough Council could do is offer some practical help, some design for signage, some technical help, and the practical civil engineering development of the structures, things like that, perhaps.
Yeah, of course. You know, we all understand that the council is under financial strain, under pressure. We don't have as much money as we would like, but we do need to, make sure that we get our priorities right. But it's really important that local assets is preserved for future generations. And I'm happy to work with Ian to make sure that any help we can, any help the council can do, we can help out wherever possible.
If we all work together, I think we can achieve something within a reasonable time scale, and then people can see that something's being done. And I think that's key today.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I know you've got some more discussions to have about how things can work out, but thank you, and we'll follow the story closely as it develops.